This is Main Street on Prairie Public. I'm Doug Hamilton, joined now by Bethany Wanzek and Natalie Eberts. They are volunteers with Results Fargo. Thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us, Doug.
That is the voice of Natalie. Bethany, good to have you with us, too.
Thank you.
Well, let's start with the name of this organization and what it means. Natalie, what is Results Fargo?
Yeah, so Results Fargo, we are the local Fargo chapter of Results, which is a group of citizens advocating for global health and global poverty issues. And we do that by advocating to our members of Congress. We also reach out through media to raise public awareness about global health, poverty, and education issues.
Well, Natalie, you're a recent graduate from the undergraduate program. And Bethany, you're going to be a senior in high school. Is this a youngish group, or can anybody join?
Anybody can join. We have all ages.
We do, yeah. We have all the way from Bethany. We've got a couple post-college people. We have an individual who's in his, I would say, he's in his 50s, yeah, as well. And we're, seeking out people from all areas of the spectrum.
Even my end of the demographic spectrum.
Oh, absolutely. You're welcome to join, too, if you'd like.
So what attracted you to it, Bethany?
I was attracted to it because I'm in high school, as you know, and I have so many friends who are new Americans and immigrants, refugees, and I've heard so many of their stories and what it's like for them to live in developing areas, and I just want to do what I can to help make lives for those who are still struggling better.
So you're getting involved. Natalie, Results Fargo is focused currently on this Reach Every Mother and Child Act.
That was definitely an act we were taking action on a lot more in October of last year.
Okay.
We were able to bring Representative Kramer on board that after a face-to-face meeting with him in October. It did pass, I believe, the House, but didn't quite so much in the Senate. So it probably will be reintroduced sometime this year.
What was the act, though, and how did it coordinate with what Results Fargo wants to do?
Yeah, so it was the Reach Every Mother and Child Act, like you said, and so it was focused on maternal and child health. So ending preventable deaths from these causes, and both in mothers and their children. So before, during, and after childbirth for mothers is a very vulnerable time. So trying to make sure mothers are protected health-wise during that time, that they can give birth in a clean, safe environment. Also that children in the first 5 years of life are very vulnerable to a lot of diseases that are preventable, like malaria, sanitation-type diseases. Even diarrhea can cause death for kids that young. So it was very much focused on having the U.S. Provide global leadership towards ending these preventable deaths from those type of causes in developing countries.
Well, my associate here on Main Street, Ashley Thornburg, came across some research that indicated that more American women are dying of pregnancy-related complications than any other developed countries. That is a surprise, I think, to our listeners.
I think it certainly is surprising, especially among, like you said, other industrialized developed countries. And we do have branches of the national organization that focus on U.S. poverty, and our group is a little bit more focused on global poverty and global issues. But it certainly is just a general reason to reflect on why we should care about these issues and get involved on whatever level you want to, whether that's U.S. poverty or global poverty. There's room for everybody. So,
Bethany, describe how you got involved. I mean, were you involved in pitching this idea during October? And what is your interest in terms of, I guess, making change?
Well, I was originally just looking for a volunteering group, and I just joined in around February, I think. And I just really want to focus on learning. It's a lot of learning for me because it's really brand new as a high school student. And then I also want to make a difference in people's lives.
Well, if people want to look into this, there's a couple of websites to check out. Resultsfargo.wordpress.com is the local chapter. Results.org is the national organization, so you can get a sense of what everybody's about here. If people want to join, what do they do?
Yeah, so they can, like you said, visit that resultsfargo.wordpress.com site. We just put that up in the last couple of weeks, so it's all very current. Shows a lot of things that we've been involved with, from meeting with all three of our members of Congress to a couple of letter to the editors that we've had published recently, all focusing on maternal child health and global poverty. But what they can do is just go to that site, and I invite you to go there, please. We've got an email address you can easily contact us via, and we'll be reading that ourselves. It doesn't go into any big black abyss or anything. And we will also have a button there for getting involved via like an action network. So if you're maybe not able to get involved regularly, or if you live outside of Fargo or major sort of cities, but you still want to get involved and you care about these issues, you can still sign up for that, and we'll reach out to you when we call you to action. And you can reach out to your members of Congress. And, that's that's one thing we've realized, I think, through this whole process is how important it is for them to hear from constituents. And it actually does change what they do, which is pretty reassuring in this political climate in D.C. these days.
So you have meetings or these virtual get-togethers?
Yeah, we meet. We were meeting every Tuesday night. We just changed it to biweekly Tuesdays at the Fargo Downtown Public Library, and so we meet in person, usually 3 to 5 people in person. But we've been kind of growing more in the last couple of months. But if people wanted to get involved, even from out, in the western part of the state, I would say they could. Maybe we could Skype them in, or they could call in or something. Or if they wanted to start their own group in Bismarck or elsewhere, we could do that. But yeah, we do meet in person.
Good. Bethany, what's it like to be relatively new to the group? What's a meeting like?
We discuss what we've done and what we're planning on doing and how we're going to do it. We've had a couple events that we've actually hosted. And so it was kind of event planning sometimes, and then we're writing letters to members of Congress. And it's really
You've
fun.
written letters.
Yes. Yeah,
letter to the editor, published last week.
Yeah.
It was in the form of Fargo Moorhead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're getting out there as well. Does the organization, Natalie, try to avoid being pigeonholed ideologically? Because people are tending to do that these days.
Yes, we definitely try to avoid doing that. The organization nationally is a bipartisan, nonpartisan, reaching out to people of all political ideologies. And one piece of evidence that we were really happy about recently is that both of our senators, both Senator Hoeven and Senator Heitkamp, came on board this letter. And, that was the best case scenario for us, because we see this as, we see issues of the health of mothers and children globally as it is a human issue. It's not a political issue. And the fact that they both stood up in support of that, definitely confirms that. And, it is a bipartisan effort by all means.
How do you measure success in an organization like this?
I think one thing that the national organization does well is, so it's quite decentralized, but the great thing about Results is that they have staff that can support people who are starting up new groups. So this group that we started here in Fargo was the first one in North Dakota, and North Dakota was one of the lingering states that didn't yet have a group started in it. So and, the first couple months, I think going from 0 to 1 is a little bit the tougher time, but things have taken off in the last couple months. But I think it was very much enabled by staff support, who were able to Skype into our meetings and help us in the planning process and kind of give us some advising, but still allow us to exercise our own freedom and, deciding what we want to focus on and let us take the reins still. Absolutely. So... yeah.
Bethany, you mentioned that you got roughly interested in this because of the New Americans that you were with at school and the issues around people your age. So are you taking this back to people your age? Are you talking to your peers about what you're doing and why they might be interested in it too?
I am definitely trying to. I'm actually new to Fargo, so I'm still getting involved in school and everything. But I'm really trying to talk to my friends and at least get a conversation going about it, and then inviting them to meetings if possible.
What's the potential? I mean, how much bigger can this get? Obviously, it's small now. What's your vision?
I think it can get a lot bigger, and there's different levels of involvement too. So I think a couple weeks ago we had 2 new people come, and they both helped write. They were part of this effort in bringing the senators on board this letter. So they both wrote a message to both senators. Just one was a English language teacher in elementary school here, and so she, like Bethany, worked with a lot of students who had a background in developing countries where maternal and child health issues are much more of a struggle than here. So she had that perspective, and then another lady as well. So, there's room for new people. There's room for, people who want to get very involved and help spear this forward. And, even if you maybe only have time to reach out to your, members of Congress, a couple times a year or whatever it is, I think there is room for all of that. And I don't see any limit to the growth that we could do here in Fargo.
Okay, well, give the pitch out there. If people are interested in joining Results Fargo, what should they do?
They should go on to our website,
resultsfargo.wordpress.com, or results.org for the national organization.
Yep. Thank you.
All good things to do. Thank you very much for being with us today. Bethany Wanzek, as a student at Davies High School here in Fargo and a volunteer with Results Fargo, and Natalie Eberts, an intern with Results Fargo as well, and one of the instigators, I suspect, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Thank you very much for being with us today.